Second half back underway. Cobs already upping the tempo in this one. They've made a couple of changes after the break, bringing on Adrian Casito at the wing. But the Barbarians have not made it any easier, putting in some contests at that breakdown. It's getting more tense than it was in the first half, as expected. Cobs trying to pile more points on the board. Walukuba trying to make it as hard as possible. But they give away a penalty in all that eagerness. And Cobs will have a line out inside the 22. In the halftime break, I just took a peek across. On TV, it is like they say, Alan Mosoke and his fans on boys, that it is malaria time. Pirates still leading 24-18 with just 10 minutes left to play. Now, while those two title challengers are fighting for maximum points, the other title challenger in Cobs will be looking to pile even more against the relegation side, a relegation threatened side, or expected to be in this breakdown, who now give away a penalty in that eagerness. Quick restart attempted. No, it isn't. And then it gets underway. Derek Kwasi with that hop step. Does he find the whitewash? Yes, he does. One man and one man only is all it needed for Cobs to extend their lead in this match and strike the first points of the second half against the Barbarians. Derek Tukwasibwe, also more popularly known as Muchiga, the man from Kabale, showing that brute force and power. Josiah Sempeke should be finding it easy to add the extra 2 points. And after what looked like some doubt between the two assistant referees, the flags go up to confirm that Cobs have extended their lead from just 24 points to 31. And they are yet to concede a single point. Semwami coming from deep is not able to gather the ball. But that looked like a knock forward in my eyes. But it bounced back and into the hands of a Walukuba Barbarians player. Then lost forward and gathered by a player who was in an offside position, hence that Cobs penalty. Joseph Aredo will find touch just at the 10-meter line. Cobs slowly but steadily inching and gaining in that Barbarians territory. Davis Chewalavier on for Robert Masendi as Daudi Semwami begins to make roads in what has been an impenetrable defense so far. Now Mukili is isolated. Has that ball been turned over? No, it hasn't. Quick ball to the backs now. Aredo for Munyani. Munyani is keeping Kemis to Adrian Casito. Does he make the distance? Yes, he does, and dives over in the corner. Cobs now lead 36.0. A first try in what I think is the 10th season for Adrian Cassetto in the top flight. Wearing the number 24, Adrian Cassetto has been a loyal Cobs player. And in that shot earlier, you saw him with another loyal Cobs player, Ian Munyani, the two forming a strong axis for the Uganda Sevens. There is Adrian Cassetto. And now another player that is in line to take part in the making of Cobs history, Josiah Sempeke, is unable to make it a full complement of points, and the score will stay standing at 36.0. Halftime score in Jinja was 10 points to the Hippos and 12 to the Impis, courtesy of Henry Nsekuya's kicking boot, slotting some through the uprights to give the visitors a lead against a team that has been labeled as best of the rest. More updates coming in from across the land. It's still 6-5 from Chadondo in favor of the Buffaloes against the Rhinos. A tie at 7 apiece for the Mongas and the Rams. And like we shall be checking for more updates slowly by slowly. The Pirates leading by 24 points to 18 against the Heathens. The title will not be won today, but it can certainly be lost in the early stages. Black Pirates ensuring that they stay in the fight, but they will need to fight on for the remaining 5 minutes or so against the defending champions. Ogena, that pocket to Davis Chewalabye, ball in two hands, finds Karim Arinaitwe. Brought down just at the 22-meter line. Derek Kwasibwe, pop past Wilabo Mukiri, a big man is running, but he was isolated. And the attempted turnover is adjudged to have been illegal. A player not supporting his own body weight. Davis Chewalabye for the quick restart. He's off the mark. The Barbarians will need to get back to their try line. Slow reset. What's the decision made by the Cobs? Scrummage it is. To the open side, the Cobs go, and Ian Munyani will stroll through for an easy finish. Look at the smiles from the youngster. He's destined to be Uganda's captain. He's now the vice captain for the Sevens. And for the Cobs, an integral part in that midfield. As Aaron Tuke dots down another try for the Buffaloes. The score as it stands now is 14-12. Latest updates coming in from the Buffaloes Rugby Club at Chadondo. Josiah Sempeke yet again not finding the extra 2 points at close range. And I think the game in Jinja has turned on its heels. It's now Impis in the driving seat. An early second half try to extend their lead from just 10 points to 12 to 19 points to 10. The Makerere boys beginning their season a little bit too arrogantly for a team that a few have said will be challenging for the title, but then some have said it's not at that time, and perhaps this is the first test that they will need to pass against Impis, who have won the Premier League title. They are one of the 4, alongside Heathens with 16, Cobs with 14, the Black Pirates with 1 in 2018, and themselves in 1996, back in the glory days of this Makerere team. But they have shown that they still have that touch in them. And this is the start of what is going to be a promising season for both the Ginger Hippos and the Impis. Now back to the back line. Davis Chawarabi juggling that ball in his hands. He's able to recover. It looks like a forward pass just straight in front of us from Mukiri to Sol Chivumbi. The Barbarians are all offside. Jujuko running that short angle. Still offside, the Barbarians. Ogena searching for some options and finds Tukwasibwe, who enters the 22. Has that ball been snatched from his hands? No, it hasn't. There's a player lying on the floor there, impeding the Cobs. Sempeke puts it to boot. Adrian Casito is chasing, the bounce is going to him, and that looked like cynical play for sure. The ball has been slapped straight into touch. He is making the appeal, but he will need to first consult. The referee will need to first consult with his AR and hear some appeals from Ian Munyani. For that, I think the ball was slapped into touch by the Walukuba Barbarians defense. That's cynical play in a try-scoring opportunity. Surely there will be some sanctions for that action. Gonzaga Mayanja making his case and the facts of the matter known to Barbarians captain Bob Kawanda, and then some more consultation with his assistant referee as Ian Munyani cuts an imposing look to the assistant referee. And that will be a yellow card and a penalty try. Conceded by the Barbarians. Gonzaga Mayanja making that decision to send a player to the bin, a second player to the bin for that cynical play in a try-scoring opportunity. Didn't look like Adrian Casito would score that try, but he made the leap up in the air higher than everybody else. only for the ball to be slapped straight out of his hands as the Black Pirates register the first victory of the 2023 Nile Special Rugby Premier League. They have beaten the defending champions Heathens by 24 points to 18. What a game, what a win from the hosts there at Kings Park in Bweregere, and for sure it will be party mode at the place that has been destined to be the host ground for the first party by the Nile Special Fan Zone experience. Cobs looking to get their game going as well with a big score against the Barbarians. Davis Shawarabia to the backs. There's spaces aplenty outside of Sol Chivumi, but he's unable to recover that ball. And Gonzaga Mayanja will need to consult the Barbarians. They have two players in the bin. It's only one. The other was a substitution preparing to run on. The clock is back on. A quick restart by Davis Shawalabie. Joseph Aredo will stroll over for this one. He was only being escorted by the Barbarians, who did not shape up well to receive that. Shape up the defense to stop the Cobs, and Aredo was over for Cobs' nth try. Might be losing count of the number of tries they have scored as the Cobs enter the 50-point region. Conversion to come. He will be looking to get the full complement of points himself. Aredo from just outside the 22, but at the touchline. Aredo from about 40 minutes away, and it's over. The uprights. Over the bar and between the uprights. Beautiful kick from the Ugandan back. Cobs lead 55 points to 0 rather. Kawanda has done quite a lot of kicking today, and his job, his watch, his duty is not yet done. Goes for the short option to the forwards. gathered by Daudi Semwami, but again loses it forward. The Barbarians carrying it hard. Was that a contact to the head? No, it wasn't. And Ogena makes the dominant tackle, gets back on his feet and contests for the ball. Attempts the quick restart. Playing advantage of the Cobs. Olauna offloading in contact. Joseph Aredo, 3 men on the outside, cuts back inside to the forwards. Big carries, getting the crowds excited. Jude Juko cutting back inside. He has the body of a front row forward, but the mind of a backliner. And now Ibrahim Kemis to Daudi Semwami, a short ball that leaves 3 men, including his own teammate, on the floor. Munyani, quick recycling, not gathered by Humphrey Olauna, but well collected by Simon Makumbi. There's space on the outside for the Cobs. Ian Munyani, backdoor to Joseph Aredo. Carrying, and a short ball to Cobs veteran Justin Kimono. Cobs are running right in this one. 60 points it is for the Kampala Old Boys. Scored by probably the most experienced man on the pitch right now, Justin Kimono. The veteran transitioned from wing as a youngster at Namiliango College. Many years later and many test games under his belt, he is now a fully fledged inside center. And Joseph Aredo taking over kicking duties. Straight through the uprights again. It's now 62 points for the Cobs against the Barbarians. Kawanda. If there's one thing that the Barbarians have done well today, it's that kick on the restart and chest, because they have been able to regather the last 3 kicks that they have put into the air on the restart against Cobs. Olauna holding up his opposite man. It's an arm wrestle. The maul has been called, so the Barbarians look to make a drive. Pius Ogena under it, collapsing it. And ball unplayable. Great work from the youngster Humphrey Olauna, signed in 2020, just before the COVID-19 pandemic. He is slowly coming of age. And it is that specific skill set of his at the breakdown and at the line out that is showing. But then now today he has been able to display another powerful play in that contact zone. Cobb scrum, pressing forward. They have the advantage. That ball should be going out for a free play by the backs. Chiwalabye sends it out. Justin Kimono running straight as he has always done from the time he was just a 17-year-old boy. Pius Ogena, the defense is still scampering backwards, offloads in contact to no man, but it's gathered by Simon Makumbi. Cobb still have the advantage just outside the 22. Humphrey Olauna, one of the standard performers today, brought down inside the 22. It's a 2v1 situation. Edwin Casito now cutting back inside and then outside. It takes 3 men to bring him down. He releases it just before he's banded into touch. Derek Kwasibwe now. Cobs have found the edge. Edwin Casito has not been able to gather that ball and loses it on the floor. And that will be a handling error from the Cobs. He's looking for the mark from the referee for a quick restart. The Barbarians will need to shape up quicker than they are complaining. Adrian Casito, men on the outside, offloads to Pius Ogena, caught just in front of the try line, but he was able to ground that ball over the whitewash. And Cobbs right now are pushing a man who is already squatting. They're kicking a man who is already down. The score as it stands is 67 points to 0. Joseph Aredo with the extras, sending the score to 69 points to 0 against the Barbarians. The score is getting vulgar now, I must admit. Again, another restart by the Barbarians against the Cobbs. Cobbs surprisingly losing kicks against the Barbarians. They're able to, Kawanda is able to kick a good kick, good hang time, pinpoint accuracy, finding some space. And the chase is good, and the contest in the air is good, giving Walukuba Barbarians a good starting point in the attack. If only they could hold on to the ball and possess the ball a little longer, maybe they could get some gains in this game. Probably put a few smiles on their faces and on the face of Coach Leonard Lubambula. Updates from Ginger. The Hippos are crawling back into this one. It's 17-19. As Job Joko finds Simon Makumbi, the workhorse, getting to work to the backs now. Adrian Casito at the wing. Beautiful tackle from Isa Shakur. Joko again, straight forward, needs two men to bring him down. Presents it beautifully. And Joseph Aredo has thrown a loose pass, but Simon Makumbi yet again, I think he has put his name up to be named man of the match today. Daudi Semwami running another short and beautiful line, offloading off the floor to Aredo, manhandled by the Barbarians, but finds some space. Davis Chewalabia throws a loose pass that is intercepted by a man in an offside possession. And Cobbs are now just outside the 22 after defending from outside their own. Henry Sekuye is on fire in Ginger. He has kicked 6 out of 7 thanks to the updates from David Spencer at the Pit Stop Lounge at Dam Waters Rugby Club. The score as it stands now is 22 all between Impis and their hosts Ginger Hippos. In the hierarchy of games that are going to be really, really big today, that was one of them, Ginger Hippos against the Impis. Line out gathered by Pius Ogena looked like it was biased onto his right side. And Sol Chivumbi playing the ball on the floor. Has he found the whitewash? He's allowed that one movement to score the ball, but to ground the ball, but has he been able to do it successfully? No, he hasn't. It's going to be a Barbarians goal line dropout. Aredo now knocking again at the Barbarians try area. They're the first at the breakdown. It's a turnover affected by Kawanda Bob. Beautiful rugby from the Barbarians despite the vulgar score as it stands 69-0-0 against them, unfortunately. Cobbs again. The forwards have done the heavy carrying, but the backs have looked like they're the ones who will get the scoreboard going. And now Sol Chivumbi past the gain line. Quick ball out. Aredo, long pass out to Justin Kimono. Running shot is Adrian Casito. He has a man on the outside, but is unable to release that ball to Conrad Mukwaya. Recycling and Jude Juko. What a line and what a beautiful try from the power forward, Jude Juko. This is worth all the celebrations from the Blue Army. What a line that he took, Jude Juko. And Cobbs are into the 70s, 74 points. Oh, that was a beautiful line from Jude Juko. Started as 8th man in high school, but he has slowly found his way into the crankshaft and the cylinders of the engine. He's now a front row forward playing the number 2 position. And that's one of the trademark tries from a front row forward. Sharp angled run at full pace and power, and nobody was able to stop him. And Joseph Aredo drilling more nails into the Barbarians' coffin. The score now at 76.0. Bob Kawanda this time going deep, and still Cobbs are not able to make the best judgment for that ball in the air, that restart has not gone well for them despite having the advantage on the score. Chewala finding that space at the back, well fielded by the Barbarians. But they need a good exit strategy. Beautiful kick in the air by the fullback, but finds Joseph Aredo. Joseph Aredo is unable to regather and has lost that ball forward. There were options to his left and lots of acres of space for the 14-time champions to extend their lead into the 80s, but first he needed to regather that ball from the air and he was unable to. Probably this is what has been Walukuba Barbarians' advantage over the Cobs. And the mistake the Cobs will need to ensure that they stop making or committing when they go to much stronger opponents as the league goes on. It's going to be 18 straight weekends with some midweek fixtures on the public holidays, especially Women's Day in March. And as early as possible, teams will need to get as many wins as they can. Bob Kawanda now on to Ishak Shakur, banded into touch by the Cobs. And it's going to be a line out at the 10-meter line. Barbarians losing about 10 meters in that single phase of play. Ball mishandled in that line out by Derek Kwasibwe, giving the Barbarians a scrum against the Cobs. But they will need to send this out as quickly as possible, knowing the strength and power that the Cobs forwards possess. And they have won the scrum advantage. Cobs illegal for early shoving. Bob Kawanda saying hello to Joseph Aredo, who is able to regather. There's men flying off their feet at that breakdown. The Barbarians not getting some scores on the board, but surely getting some highlights from this one. Aredo looking to make amends for that missed tackle and disrespect from what would be a youngster. He wins that turnover. And now the backs. Humphrey Olauna for Adrian Casito. Adrian Casito for Jude Juko. The big man is running at the wing. But he has run out of space at that touchline and just tapped into touch by a much smaller and chasing Walukuba Barbarians defense. Not a straight line out from the Barbarians. Cobs to attack. It has taken 3 men to bring down just one. And now the backs. Backdoor again. Ian Munyani has 2 men on his outside, doesn't use them. Goes to the floor, releases that ball. The Barbarians have their hands up in the air. Conrad Mukwaya coming from an offside position. Was that a forward pass? Surely Mukwaya had overshot. It is eagerness. Had overshot his positioning. making it difficult for Adrian Casito to find him. He should have stayed onside, says Adrian Casito. And the Barbarians, who had decided to referee the game instead of play it, are lucky to survive that try. Ball taken back into the area by the Walukuba Barbarians off that scrum. It's going to be a scrum reset, but this time fed in by the Cobs. Derek Kwasibwe holding it in his hands and now hands it over to David Chewalabye. Chewalabye returning to playing duties. He played with the championship side Box, leading them to a double in the 15s and in the quali promotional playoff. But after being coach in 2021 and winning the premiership unbeaten, he has come back to the center of the field in that familiar number 9 position. Easy and quick to the back of Pius Ogena. Short to Justin Kimono. Is it try time again? He has lost it forward, says Gonzaga Mayanja, and that will be the final piece of action in what has been a one-sided affair here at Legends Rugby Club. 76 points to the horse Cobs against the Walukuba Barbarians, who were not able to get a single mark on the scoreboard. This has been match day 1 of the Nile Special Rugby Premier League. The action will continue through the week, online with the banter and the discussion of the results. And then next weekend in match day 2, on through and through for 18 weekends in this 33rd championship of the Uganda Rugby Premier League.
Back in the video. Senior player, mature up. Finally.